Something has been standing close enough to touch for your entire life, and it has never once let you look at it directly. Chosen one, turn your right hand over now, where 3 lines cross on your palm, forming the shape of the letter M. A mark has been sealed there since before you could speak, and 3 separate patterns of interference have worked, in 3 separate ways, to keep you from ever asking what it means. You need this sign the most, in the exact season you are standing in right now, and you are still completely unaware of it. And that unawareness is not an accident, it is the whole strategy. This is the same shape as an older sign, once placed on a doorframe, given to a household who did not yet understand its full weight, and told simply to use it, because meaning was never the requirement, use was. God said, "Use the sign I already placed on your hand." I need to be honest about where you are standing right now. A small window is open, measured in days, and something scheduled quietly against your momentum has been counting down inside it the entire time you called it bad luck. On one side of that window, the mark stays a forgotten crease and the fog continues on schedule. On the other side, you use what is already resting in your hand, and the thing feeding on your unawareness loses its grip completely. Hear this clearly, because it matters more than anything else in this message. This is not against you. It was never against you. It is for you. The same way a lighthouse is never a threat to the ship it is warning, only mercy arriving in time. Stay through what comes next, because 3 things are about to be placed in your hands. What this mark has actually meant. Since the day it was sealed on you, what has been hijacking your awareness of it for so long? You mistook it for personality, and the exact narrow window you are standing inside right now, to use it before it closes. If your chest tightened anywhere in the last minute, that was not fear. That was recognition, arriving late, but arriving on time. Type "I receive the sign" below before you go any further, because naming it out loud is the first way the lock on your own hand begins to loosen. And everything that follows in this message was shown to me to help you finish what that naming starts. You are not behind. You are marked. Those 2 sentences are not the same, and only one has ever been true of you. Being behind would mean the door already closed. Being marked means the door has your name pressed into the frame, waiting for your hand. Think of the last time an idea arrived for you fully formed, clear, obviously right, and you still hesitated long enough to lose it. That was never a discipline problem. That was the mark on your hand sitting unused, while something else made the decision for you, quietly, in the space of a breath you did not notice you were holding. There are 5 specific signs that a person is standing exactly where you are standing right now, carrying this mark and still unaware of it, and once you hear the first 2, you will already know you are being described. The first sign is a pattern of near misses that never quite make sense afterward. Doors closing 1 week before they would have opened, replies arriving 1 day too late to matter. The second sign is a private exhaustion that has nothing to do with sleep, a tiredness underneath your actual schedule, the kind that makes even good days feel lived through glass. The third sign is a strange kind of forgetting, where a plan you were completely certain about the night before feels foggy and distant by morning, as if something reached in overnight and rearranged the furniture of your own conviction. The fourth sign is answered prayer that never quite lands the way it was asked for, provision that arrives late, help that shows up, 1 room over from where you actually needed it, close enough to see and just far enough to miss. The fifth sign, and the one that ties the other 4 together, is this. You have spent seasons of your life treating all of it as personality, as bad timing, as simply how your life goes, when in fact, you were describing the exact symptoms of a sign sitting unused on your own hand. Here is the core of everything this message unfolds for you today. It was not missing, it was ignored. And there is a difference between the two that changes everything about how quickly this can be reversed. A missing thing has to be found, searched for, earned back through effort. An ignored thing only has to be noticed. And noticing takes far less time than anyone waiting on a miracle expects. This is not folklore dressed up as scripture, and it is not scripture bent to fit folklore. In Exodus 12, a household was told to take blood and place it visibly where it could be seen, on the doorframe of their own home, and to trust that the marking itself, not their full understanding of it, was what carried them through the night that followed. They did not need a theology degree to survive that night. They needed to use what they had already been handed. Notice what that household was not asked to do. They were not asked to explain the mark to their neighbors or prove it worked before they applied it. They were only asked to place it where it could be seen and trust the one who gave the instruction. That same quiet obedience is being asked of you today. Not belief in a theory, but use of a sign already resting on you. That same principle sits on your hand today, in the shape of 3 lines meeting to form the letter M, waiting this entire time not for your comprehension, but for your use. You do not need to fully understand a doorframe to walk safely through it once it has been marked correctly. Here is the thesis this entire message is built on, said plainly so you can hold it in one sentence. You did not lose the season chasing the wrong things. You delayed the sign that was already given to you. And delay is reversible in a way that loss never is. If any part of what you just read landed somewhere specific, a name, a season, a face, do not scroll past it in silence. Comment "I see the sign right now," because speaking it into this space is the first practical act of using what has been sitting quiet on your hand this whole time, and it matters more than it looks like it does. Now here is where this message has to slow down and get honest with you, because recognizing a sign is not the same as understanding why it stayed hidden for this long, and you deserve the second part just as much as the first. It is one thing to be told a mark exists on your hand. It is another thing entirely to understand what has kept your eyes sliding past it for years, because that understanding is what actually breaks the pattern instead of simply naming it. Here is the honest diagnosis. What has kept your eyes sliding past your own palm is not a curse, and it is not punishment. It is interference, and interference has a much simpler nature than most people are taught to expect. It does not attack loudly. It works through distraction, through busyness, through the sheer ordinariness of a hand you look at every single day, without ever truly seeing. That distraction has a root, and the root is this. Somewhere in your story, being noticed for something you carried started to feel dangerous instead of safe, so a part of you learned to look away from your own hand before anyone else could ask what was on it. That is not a flaw in your character. That is a wound wearing the disguise of a habit. Here is what that wound has actually been costing you. Every day the sign stays unseen. It keeps functioning as only half of what it was designed to be. We call this the silent seal, a mark that is meant to work as both a key and a shield at once, and while it stays unused, it can only ever manage one of those 2 jobs at a time, usually the smaller one. The silent seal was never broken. It was only ever half engaged. And half engaged is exactly why your breakthroughs have felt like they arrive and then quietly leak away again. This is the shift that changes everything. The moment you name the silent seal and consciously use it, both jobs activate together instead of one at a time. What was draining your momentum loses its cover. The same instant what was locked in, you starts to open. The sign was always built to hand you both. Picture for a moment the version of you that exists on the other side of this. Not a louder version, not a version performing confidence for other people. A version that stops flinching when opportunity looks directly at them. A version that reaches for the door the first time, not the third time. Because the hesitation that used to live in that half second is simply not there anymore. That person is not a stranger to you. That person is who you already are, underneath the interference, waiting on the other side of one decision to use what is already yours. The war was not against you, the mark was for you. Say that quietly to yourself before you keep reading, because that sentence is the hinge this entire message turns on. There is one more piece to this, and it is the piece almost nobody watching a message like this one is ever told plainly. There is a specific, narrow practice, taking less than 10 minutes a day, built for exactly this kind of half-engaged sign. It restores what an unused mark like this one needs most in order to fully activate. It is not a supplement, and not a ritual you have to interpret for yourself. It has a name, and later in this message that name is going to be given to you directly, along with why researchers who never intended to touch anything spiritual ended up proving a piece of it by accident. Before we go there, comment, "I am ready right now," because what comes next builds directly on the decision you are making in this exact moment to stop half-engaging your own sign, and it sets up the second piece of this that most people never even get shown at all. There is a second thing this sign has been quietly proving, and it is different from the first, so stay with this, even though it may sound at first like the same idea repeated. The silent seal is not only a key and a shield, it is also evidence, physical evidence, that you already crossed a threshold you keep telling yourself you have not reached yet. We call this the finished mark, because it was placed on you at completion, not in preparation. You have been living as if you are still becoming ready, still one more season away from qualifying, while carrying, in your own hand, the actual proof that the qualifying already happened. This is not comfortable to sit with, because most of us were taught that comfort with our own readiness is arrogance. But there is a real obstacle underneath that discomfort, and it deserves a name too. It is growth guilt, the quiet belief that if you missed a sign this long, you must not deserve to use it now. Growth guilt lies convincingly because it sounds like humility. It is not. Humility says, "I did not see it yet." Growth guilt says, "I do not deserve to see it now." Only the first sentence has ever been true of you. It also loves to whisper that if this were really important, someone would have told you sooner, as if delay were proof of unimportance instead of proof interference had a head start. Here is where an old story becomes instruction. In Exodus 12, the households marking their doorframes that night had never done this before. Many raised enslaved, never taught to read a sign like it. Still, the instruction did not wait for their confidence to catch up. It only asked for obedience that single night, and the mark did the rest. You are allowed to have missed this for years and still use it fully tonight. Nothing about the delay disqualifies the mark. It was never on a timer that punished you for noticing late. It was only ever waiting. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can do that safely right where you are, and picture your own right hand resting open in front of you. See the 3 lines. See where they cross. Now, picture something old and heavy lifting off your palm, the way steam lifts off water in early morning light, slow, visible, gone the moment you stop watching it. That is not imagination for its own sake. That is your body learning, at the only speed a body actually learns anything, that the guilt was never load-bearing. You did not lose the season. You delayed the sign. Say that again if you need to. It is not an accusation. It is the doorway out of the guilt that has been the real thing standing between you and using what was already yours. Here is something worth sitting with before we continue. 2 people can be shown the exact same sign on the exact same night, and only one of them survives what comes after, simply because they used it instead of studied it. There is one more detail about this sign that has not been mentioned yet, something researchers stumbled onto decades ago while studying something else entirely, and it explains, in a way that has nothing to do with superstition, why a mark like this can sit dormant for an entire lifetime and still be fully recoverable in a matter of days once it is finally engaged correctly. Everything from here forward in this message is going to make sure you are the one who uses it. Let me bring this down into 3 plain sentences, because you deserve clarity, not only imagery. Here is the why. Interference keeps useful things ordinary looking, so ordinary you stop questioning your own hand. Here is the what. A sign was placed on you, working as key and shield, needing only to be noticed. Here is the who. You are not the person this passed by. You are the person it was placed on. You are not late. You are marked, and marked things do not expire. Do you remember the question I asked you to hold earlier, why a mark like this can sit dormant for years and still be fully recoverable in days? Here is the answer, and it won the Nobel Prize. In 1981, Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize for research, showing the two hemispheres of the brain, properly synchronized, function in a completely different capacity than when out of rhythm, which is closer to how most people live their entire lives without realizing it. A team, led by Dr. Daniel Barone, a neurologist in New York, took that clinical finding, the kind of whole brain activation protocol used in specialized medical settings, and compressed over an hour of it into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. They call it the genius switch. A woman from California, a nurse, had tried nearly everything before this crossed her path, describing her life as something happening to her instead of through her. Within 10 days, a blocked channel in her marriage opened, not through effort, but her own mind finally operating the way it was built to. A man from Texas, a business owner raising 2 kids, said prayer had started feeling like talking into a wall. 2 weeks in, his mind was running at full capacity. The fog that followed him through every meeting simply gone. The Genius Switch is not a brainwave product, meditation app, or sound frequency mood track. It works through hemisphere synchronization, the same territory Sperry was awarded for, refined into 8 quiet minutes a day. The Genius Switch is not for everyone. It is for the one who has stayed sincere, done the work quietly, and is ready to stop treating the fog as a character flaw. In person, this kind of clinical neural sync work runs close to $300 an hour, and home devices built around similar technology have listed as high as $7,000. My colleagues and I priced this sequence at $49. Today, on this page only, it is $39, 10 off, alongside 4 free bonuses, a guided visualization, a smart grocery guide, a manifestation era book, and a 5 habits printable. All of it is backed by a complete money-back guarantee, unlimited listens, no conditions, joining more than 18,400 people who have already used it. The price on this page will not stay indefinitely, and beyond it, the offer God arranged for you moves through a receiver at only partial capacity, the same condition your unused sign has kept you in. If your spirit resonates, the link is waiting in the description and the pinned comment. One quiet warning: tracks using a similar name exist elsewhere online with no real neural sync technology inside them at all. The only verified source is the official page linked below. This tool does not replace God, and was never meant to, nor the obedience you have already been quietly practicing. It restores the receiver, so what God is already doing in your life has more of what it needs to actually land. Here is where I need to be completely direct, because this is not a general encouragement, it is a specific warning, and it is for you, never against you. You are a small number of days from one of 2 seasons. In one, the sign stays half engaged, and the season repeats with new details but the same shape. In the other, you use what was described here, while the price on this page still holds, and that repeating shape finally breaks. Before we close, I want to walk you through something short, something you can actually do right now, wherever you are sitting or standing. Open your right hand and look at it one more time. See the shape where the lines cross, the letter M, resting exactly where it has always rested, exactly where it was placed. Now, in your mind, watch that shape begin to glow, faintly, gently, not with heat, with recognition. The way a familiar name looks different once you learn it belongs to someone you love. Let that image sit for 3 full, unhurried breaths before you move on to the next part of this. As you hold that image, quietly reframe what this mark has meant across your whole life. It was never proof you were forgotten, or evidence of bad timing. It was proof you were marked before you had the language to notice, sealed long before the seasons that felt hardest to explain. Let that reframe settle underneath the image, not on top of it. Now place your other hand gently over your marked palm, just for a moment, the way you might cover something valuable to keep it safe from the wind. That small motion is not only symbolic. It is your body learning that this sign now belongs to your conscious use, not only your unconscious carrying. You are not waiting on this sign anymore. You are responsible for using it now. If this message found you at exactly the right moment, there is very likely someone else you already thought of somewhere while reading it. Someone carrying that exact same unaware weight you have carried for years without a name for it. Picture their face for a second. Picture the specific, quiet tiredness in it. The kind that looks like nothing is wrong from the outside, while everything underneath is straining. Send this to them today, not because they need rescuing, but because a sign like this was never meant to be used in isolation. Your sending it may be the exact nudge that lets them finally look down at their own hand for the first time in years. Now let us close together, slowly, the way this entire message has moved from the very first line. Breathe in slowly, and as you exhale, let it carry away every season you spent calling this delay your own fault. Breathe in again, and as you exhale, let it carry away the guilt of not seeing this sooner than today. One more breath in, slower than the last two, and as you release it, let go of the belief that being unaware of something ever once meant being unworthy of it. Something in you is standing taller already, even if nothing around you has visibly changed yet, because the body always knows before the calendar catches up to it. I am marked. I am not late. I am the one this sign was placed on, not the one it passed by. I am done carrying what was never mine to carry in the first place. I am ready, right now, to use what has always, quietly, been mine. None of this was ever against you, from the very first line of this message to this one. All of it, every warning, every name given to what has been hidden, was for you, only ever for you, the way a true warning given in love has always been for the one hearing it. There was no shame anywhere in this message, only recognition finally arriving where it was always meant to land. Comment, I receive it before you close this today, because that single sentence, spoken now, out loud or quietly, in your own chest, is the sound of the sign finally being used instead of simply carried a little longer. One more season, one more delay, one more excuse. And so, quietly, without needing anyone else to confirm it for you, without needing the fog to lift all at once to know it is already breaking, it is done. It is done.